What is happening, everybody? We are back for another special episode of 0 to 100,000 Real Estate Real Fast, and we've got an incredible crew with us here today. I'm excited to have them on. Please welcome Chelo and Cristina Alonzo to the show.
What's up, everybody? We're having a little bit of
Boom, 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 baby. What's going on? This is real life.
technical difficulties here.
It's
Uh,
perfect. It's
yeah,
real.
TV popping up with I don't even know what was on, but good morning.
Good morning,
What's
everyone.
up,
Good
James?
morning.
What's happening, man? So, how's the morning going?
Morning's going good.
It's excellent. Another day above the ground is a good day.
100%.
We're all happy. We're all smiling. It's a great day.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And, the first way that we like to start off this show is just giving people a little bit of insight into, who you are. I know a lot of people that are jumping on or know who you guys are, but let's just talk a little bit about your story. Like, how'd you guys end up coming into real estate?
Well, prior to real estate, I worked in proprietary education, in positions of admissions all the way up to a campus director. And Chelo was a professional boxer, who had retired and got into the fitness industry. And my mother was flipping houses, and she tells me, "Hey, why don't you get your real estate license?" She thought that if I got my real estate license, that as a flipper, I would get all the houses before anybody else saw them, and she was going to be able to pick them up dirt cheap. She just had this pre-notion, and I remember being like, that's not what I want to do. That's not really the plan in my life. My background, psychology and business, and that's my goal. But I went and took the class and passed the exam and got my real estate license. And then the very next day, some people may know, something crazy happened. We went out to go celebrate my success, and Chelo and my son were shot by a stranger at a local establishment. So that kind of like put us on pause. It was serious. He was sepsis and in the hospital for about 3 months, just kind of fighting for his life. And after that, we kind of the rest of 2018, because I got my license in February, was just working on his recovery.
Yep.
And with him being a professional boxer and someone who has always been known for his athletic abilities, when he came home with a colostomy bag, and was very depressed. And that's just not something that I was used to from him. He's like always been the motivated one, the coach, the cheerful one. But he basically lost all his physical abilities, and it mentally, got to him. So, and at that time, I'm trying to use all my strength within. I don't know if do you know who Mel Robbins is?
No.
So she's a motivational speaker, and she has a few books out there. And I was doing my audio and my manifestation and everything positive, because my inside life was like crazy. And I remember going to him one day as he's like, down, and I'm like, I miss you. Like, I miss my Chelo. I'm like, God saved you. Like, it's time to get you back. And then I got kind of rough with him. And then I was like, look, have you ever thought about getting your real estate license? Why don't you get your real estate license and we could be a team? And he's like, when would I ever talk about real estate? And I'm like, yeah, Chelo, but with your, connections and who I said, and in my brains.
Mind you, but she wasn't talking like that.
No, I wasn't.
She wasn't.
No, she was coming at you like sideways.
No, it was.
Yeah, I was having like, look, dude,
it was
a real moment.
It was a real moment, and like I said, for me, I'm very thankful and grateful for my wife. I say it all the time. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because when I was down, when I was depressed, when I had PTSD, because I still deal with it. It's just part of my life. I've learned how to cope with it. But back then, I was from 251 pounds, squatting 501, to not being able to help my wife, and so on. I was depressed. I beat myself up mentally, and she brought me to the office, and the conversation was not peaches and creams. It was a serious conversation, and pretty much she saw what I wasn't able to see. She had a vision when I didn't have a vision. My vision was I didn't have one. And when she said, why don't you take your real estate license And my response says, when did I ever speak to you about real estate? I never thought about being real estate ever in my life. Those are facts. And she pretty much said, you're one of the smartest men I know. She goes, you retain information like no other. She goes, you don't know what you have been taught. She said, let me be your mentor. So in my head, of course, I start thinking, anything in life, someone's going to teach you. Doesn't matter. We don't know everything. We learn every day. But one thing that I can tell you and I can tell everybody, I admire my wife. I look up to my wife. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh,
I've never had no one, I say it all the time, but if it wasn't her believing and seeing and having that vision that I didn't have. So guess what? I want her to be my mentor. Let her teach me. So I went under her wing for like a month because it didn't work well. But I did what I needed to do and we moved on.
Yes.
And we started our team and
we started our team, like me and you, in like August, September of 2018.
But I want to say this real quick before I forget. I want to say thank you to the Calora team, because when I was, and I don't remember a lot when I was doing what I was doing, but they also helped my wife when I was in the hospital. She spent 59 days with me. She never left me alone. And the Calora team helped us. When I got my real estate license, they helped me understand contracts. Like, they're amazing. They were our mentors. So I want to say thank you to them.
In the beginning, because I'm a kind of a fast-paced learner. And so here's a man that's only, very smart. He can tell you every single muscle in the body, has every certification you can think of, anything athletically, but he'd never worked, typing up anything, forms, documents. And I would get so frustrated and I'd be like, move over, I'll do it. So we are very thankful for the Calora team. Who took him under his wing before we would have not been a team. It was rough.
The story you just told has so much impact to it. It's about, I think we all experience that, right? Where like it's loss in one way or another. And it brings us to a place where I feel like that's where so many of us get lost. And it's beautiful to see that you guys were able to pull each other out of it. Like you guys were able to come together. And I mean, there's a lot of people on here right now. Like that's a story that people needed to hear. And you tell it, like I've heard it before, and I know that you're willing to share that story. And I think that's incredible.
And
thank you.
And it's like, in real estate or anything in life, we're going to face trials and tribulations. And I believe that's what's going to make you is overcoming them, period. It doesn't matter who you are in whatever situation it is. You have to go through it. You go through it, guess what happens? It's going to build your character. It's going to give you strength. It's going to give you motivation. It's going to give you inspiration to be ready for what's coming.
I can tell you, for me, real estate was an escape from my current reality at that time, because it was something that it was different than what was going on in my personal life. So my personal life seemed like in chaos. I had my son in the hospital, my husband in the hospital. And even throughout the situation, my mom took a medication that made her catatonic and nonverbal. So it was just like thing after thing after thing. And I had to become the matriarch. But real estate, no matter what problems were happening out in real estate, it was something completely different than what I had going on. And I feel like it almost saved me out of that state of mind, because it was like, I got to leave my baggage at the door, be happy, take care of my customers, for whatever couple of hours I had during that time during the day, and just move forward. And, sometimes people are like, how did you do it? And I'm like, you either do it or you don't. And so I decided to do it.
And I because we're talking on how we got here. So I can tell you that, me going through what I went through and Xavier going through what we went through, I'm thankful and grateful that we're here. But the reality is, it humbled us. It opened our eyes. It gave us more strength. It united us. And I can sit here and tell you, for this woman right here, and I say it all the time, I always knew the woman I had in my life, because that's why I married her. We went from friendship to marriage. But when I was laying in bed, when I was home, for the first time, I realized everything that she is. Not only was she taking care of me, taking care of our son, making sure her mother's okay, making sure my parents was okay. She was going to school at the time, She was working. She was cleaning. She was washing clothes. I can go on and on. So at that point, and I knew that she did all that. But for the first time in my life as a man, I acknowledged her and realized everything that she was worth, even though I knew it, but I just never put my all into it. And I think that that has made us stronger. And now pretty much everything we do now is 50-50, no matter what. She cooks, I wash dishes now. I can't explain it, but I, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in if I didn't have the love and support from this woman right here.
Oh, thank you.
And I say it all the time. My mother-in-law says, "No, you did it." I said, "Yes, I did do it." But if I didn't have her believing me, uplifting me, being there, arguing with me, pushing me, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here as a team and as Florida's A team. So I'm very grateful and thankful for that. I really am. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If I could let the whole world know, I would press a button and let them know.
And the one thing that I see this a lot with other people, and your example just now is shocking. So when you're going to make this big change in your life, when you're on the other side, like when you're on the front side of a Phoenix moment, right? Shit piled up, right? Like you don't know that this is happening in the moment, but like when I'm looking at your story, I'm like, y'all had every reason to quit. You did, and you guys, by the grace of God and the power inside of you guys were able to come together to make y'all made an impact in real estate that I kind of heard in this timeline. I came into real estate March of 2019. I would say by September of 2019, like you guys were like I had no idea until the last 3 months that you guys had only been in real estate for that short period of time, because by September of 2019, y'all were regarded as like, you know what I mean? Like you guys were talked about in that way in the course of 9 months.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's sick. So like everything about your story just now just lit my soul on fire. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys have a ton of stuff coming on down here too. Like I'm trying to put these up here so that you guys can see it as you're going, but people are like all stuff you need to see. But before we go into the big question for today, I wanted to show everybody that like y'all are a champion in real estate. Y'all are a champion in life. I wanted to just highlight a little bit of you back fighting. Is that all right?
That's good. But before, I just want to say one thing. I want to say thank you to Hernando County, because what you're going to show, I've been supported by Hernando County since I was in my teens. And the biggest thing, and I'm always grateful to this community, and I believe we live in the best community in the state of Florida. And what this community did for me, organizations, families, friends, acquaintances, people I didn't know that came together for that moment that we were facing that tragedy and I was fighting for my life. This community came like no other. So I'm very grateful and thankful for Hernando County and everyone in it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Amen. So let me see. I've never done this before, but let's see if we can.
Oh.
I don't know.
Who's that skinny guy on there?
Oh, man.
I don't know where in the fight we are, but we're going to watch like a minute of it just to see. I mean, just to see what happens here. Dude, you were fast.
Yeah. That was Adam Jaco. His father actually fought Mike Tyson.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Ooh.
And this was my second fight back after 8-year layoff.
Was it?
Yes, and I was able to fight for the Florida State title. So that was a blessing as well.
This was 11-11-11.
Dude, I can't imagine when you land the heavy right, but like when you're throwing that jab, I just like my neck hurts. Yeah. Champion.
Yes, sir.
Now there we go. This. I ain't never done that before, so that was brand new to me. Dude. So what was it like coming back? Like, I mean, before we go into because that just opened up a new question. Like that's a major layover right there, right? Like, and it's
Yeah,
similar to mine. Like I semi-retired from pool, and to make a comeback like that, I feel like what woke like really what re-inspired you? Because I think that's the at
I'm,
the
and
corner of it.
I'm going to tell you the story. I was watching De La Hoya fight with my son. I had an apartment on 19 on County Line Road, and we were watching the fight. And at that time, I weighed about 295 pounds. And my son says,
And not fit.
and not fit. And my son says, Papi, why don't you go back into boxing? I was 34 years old at the time. I looked at him. I said, I'm fat. I'm old. I'm not going to do that no more. He looked at me, and my son looked at me and pointed at me. He said, so you're going to be that man that's going to be what if, but yet you tell us not to be what if and to go after what we believe. God is my witness.
Slapped him on his own
He
words.
punched me with my own words.
Yep.
I kid you not. That week I started running. I don't know how much I lost, but I was 295. I can't do the math. I weighed 168 pounds within 8 months, because
Wow.
not only I did at that point, that belt I fought, or that time I fought for myself, because I had to prove to myself so I can prove to my son that I'm a man of my word. And at that moment, I realized that my kid and my kids looked at me as their hero in whichever way. So, and then I came back out of retirement. I fought my first fight, and then my second, I fought for Adam Jacob for the Florida State title on 11-11-11. And that's the real reason how I came back out of retirement, because of my son punched me in my face with my own words.
I love it.
I mean,
I mean, I love it. I love it.
Shout out to the oldest son. He passed his real estate
Yes.
license yesterday.
Yes, congratulations, Jose Alonzo Jr. He is a real estate agent.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So is your whole immediate family licensed now?
Well,
we're on our way to get them all.
Yeah, our two boys are.
The two boys are.
Our two boys are real estate agents now. Yes, sir. Very, very
working
happy
on the girls to at least so that they could be at least referral agents, trying to teach. Real estate has so many different avenues and so much opportunity. And, you want a piece of the pie, you got to do it the right way. Get your license.
I love it. I love it. And I think that's bringing us right in. And I want to say we got a lot of people tuning in here. If you guys have questions for Chelo or Cristina, we can definitely get to those, and just drop them there in the comments, and we'll revisit. We'll pull them right up on the screen and go live with it. But until we get to that, let's get into the question. If y'all, you can look at this any way you want to, right? You can be talking to your son. You can think about yourselves restarting, but if you were starting from zero, what would you do to get to 100K as fast as possible?
I mean,
I would say, one, it's going to be, and I heard someone else say this on there, and it hit home because it's something I always said, was that you need to realize that this is not a 9 to 5. Most people, I hope they've had a job in their life, and you went in, whether your hours were 9 to 5, but you gave them 40 hours a week. And and that's a lot of time, and you came in and you did your job, right? Well, in real estate, you don't have anybody saying you got to clock in at 9 o'clock, you got to do this, you have to do that. You have the luxury to decide to do whatever you want, but you need to realize that now you are the boss and this is your business. So first of all, my number one thing is time management. We were blessed that we were able to scale quickly because I understood that this was a business and learned to manage my time. Number two would be self-belief. I mean, I think that so many times, when I speak to new agents, they're so afraid of working. Oh, but what if this and what if that and what if that? And it's like, you know what? We got the legal hotline, you got your broker, you got the FREC, you got the MO. I mean, I call everybody and their mother. And there's and the third thing is leverage. You a lot of people are afraid to spend a little bit of money to free up some time to learn how to better manage your time and figure out like what you're good at. I'm not or he's not, let's say more you are not good with any of the administrative stuff. He can do it, I can do it, but that task can be delegated to someone for a minuscule amount in comparison of what you can make, so that you can use your time to do the things that are bringing you more income. You're providing someone else with a job, and you're learning how to manage your time. You're using that time wisely.
And it's like, you have agents that want to, or individuals that want to become agents, and for whatever reason, more income, they don't like what they're doing, whatever the case may be. But like Christina said, something that we teach our team, if everyone's had a 9 to 5, pretty much, I could say, right? Now you have a manager, you have your tasks that you have to finish, and you give it your all. So that way you get promoted and so on. So for all the new agents and anyone's out there, if they say real estate is easy, they're lying. If they say that real estate is hard, I think they're lying. I think it's whatever it is, you make it. So if you take that 9 to 5 mentality and just work it for yourself and put all that effort to you, can you imagine what you will do and what you will accomplish? I know it's easier said than done, but if you apply that to yourself, just for you, there's no limits in the sky.
And then my other big thing is the ability to do this business anywhere and everywhere is amazing. There's no other product, and let's call, real estate a product for the sake of this conversation, that can be sold to everybody, because we all need a roof over our heads. If you're in commercial real estate, you need a roof for a building. If you need a roof for your residential. So, when we're training our team or talking to other agents, we ask that the first thing we say is, who's your customer? Well, I don't have any customers right now, or, I don't know anybody. No, then you need to get to know people. Everybody is a customer. You can be at the line of the bank and the person in front of you. You can be in the grocery store and the person in front of you. You could go, how many customers I've gotten from doing my nails at the nail salon. And it's the easiest conversation to bring up.
And yes, because it doesn't matter who you are. This is, let's just look at reality. Someone's looking to buy and someone's looking to sell, and we're talking
know someone who's looking to buy and sell.
So Ryan Serhant says real estate always in all ways, and in this business, in real estate, that's how you really have to have that mentality in order to be successful, if that's what you choose to do with real estate. And it's
another thing that I've said before, real estate is, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
So, and I always say that. So if you don't know something, if you're unsure of something, I don't want to bother that, person. I don't want to ask them. Listen, the Calora team, the integrity team, somebody wasn't around. Here's Cristina. Hi, guys. So, great to ask people, to make friends in this business and be genuine,
you have to be authentic
and have good intentions.
You have to be real to yourself. You have to do things with an open mind. You have to have a great heart, period. And these customers, for us, for Cristina and I, our customers becomes friends. You build relationship. It's we have a slogan: working for our customer, you the boss. Because we also realize that, yes, we are getting the opportunity for them to allow us to work for them, right? And that's what they're allowing us to work for them. We may have the knowledge, but they're giving us the opportunity. At the end of the day, they're our boss. We just have to make sure that we guide them in the right direction. So you build relationship. Just don't go in and say, I got to get this guy. No, you build relationships, build rapport.
Make friends. It's that easy.
It's just what it is.
If somebody's your friend, you're going to want the best for them. You're going to always be honest to your friend. Even when you're dealing with the listing, and you may have someone who, is way out of the scope of where there should be. And some people may approach it with just telling them exactly what they want to hear, but that's not what a friend will do. So, respectfully, obviously, but always be honest. And if you don't know something, ask someone who does.
Listen, I tell you, all the new agents and agents out there, I believe and I know for a fact that integrity and ethics, it's always going to bring business. That is the major tool in life. In life. And that's, I think that's who we are. That's what we do. That's the only way to be.
So to
Man,
go 0 from 100 real quick, realize that you need to manage your time, right? And treat your business like a business. Wake up every day and have at least 3 main goals. There's 3 priorities of the day, at least. You could have 100 for the day, but at least 3 main priorities of what you're going to do, and stick to them regardless. At the same time, you have to learn to be flexible in this business, because you may plan for something to happen, and we all know the road is like this sometimes. Sometimes it's like this, and a lot of times it's like this. So you have to learn to go with it and stay positive. And there's a sign that I used to have when I worked in education over my desk, and it said, do all you can do, because all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is always enough. So I always say, look, I did everything. I tried, I did this, I looked for resources, I did that, and I did all I could do. Now the rest is on God.
And in real estate, for the new agents, and there's resources. Don't be scared. You didn't pass your real estate because you were scared. You passed your real estate license because you went after it. So after that, there's resources. I don't know everything. My wife doesn't know everything, but I know I have resources. You're my resource. Yes. You're one of my resources, James. You're an amazing man. I love that we met. I love where we're at as friends. And you're one of them dudes that you want the best for everyone. You generally want the best for everyone, and you're always giving knowledge. You're not scared to say, oh, I can't tell this agent this, because they's gonna know. Take it. This is what I'm going to give you, because I work with you. All agents should get along. We should all work together, because
I think some people are afraid that, like, oh no, that agent's a top agent.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to say that. And I'm like, listen, you're human. I'm human. You bleed, I bleed. I'm nice. I hope you're nice.
That's it.
And I want to be your friend. And what can I learn from you? I've met some amazing top agents.
I can name
a lot of them.
A lot of agents that are just humble, always willing to help.
Kim Pai, I talk about you, but if you're watching or watch this at all, I think that you are just an incredible person, and I tell her all the time. But she's one of the top in our area, and you would think that she got her license today, because she is so humble and so willing to help. And that characteristic is one that we always have to keep. Is, I think it would take you so much further in life if you have that personality, and you have that personality.
Yeah, you have that.
I hope we have that personality.
There's a lot of amazing agents out there, and like I said, like my wife said, Kim Pai, she's goals, man. She's amazing. She's humble. She's crushing it. And I love to see everyone crushing it. So
I want to see her on this show.
Yes. Yes.
I've egged her on about it. She kind of gave me a little bit of like you guys, like, I don't know if because she's so humble, right? She's like, I don't know what I would say on that show. You could say anything in the world and it's going to help somebody. Like I've called her since the second week I was in real estate, and she picks up the phone and helps me. Like, and that's you guys. I've heard this over and over and over about Kim. And that's that spirit of abundance is really what it is not being afraid.
The nail on the head. Yep.
That's it.
You hit the nail on the head.
Well, and the thing is, so like when a new agent's starting, I think this is really important. And everything in here is you can reach out, right? The further up that an agent is, the more likely they are to have an abundance mind state. Oh,
sorry, I lost you.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
I love that. That is so true. And it's something where I feel like it's underused by newer agents. They should reach out. It's something that it's flattering. We have that mind state. We'd love to help. I'll tell you that if you are going to reach out to a top agent and try to learn and what we're going to leave you with are some things that you can work on. But please, if you're going to take the time to make that call, follow that shit up with the action.
Yeah.
Like, take the action. That's the biggest part in all this is that if you don't take the action, you will fail. I promise you that.
Mhm.
But if you take the action, you will succeed. I also promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and another thing is, you know, they say, you know, getting the lead is hard. So once you accomplish that, right? Because now they accomplish that lead. But to me, the biggest thing is the follow up.
The follow-up.
The follow-up. So agents have to follow up. You just did the hardest task was to find the lead. Then you get the lead, then you don't follow up. And following up, I believe, is the hardest thing for agents because that's how you lose.
And your
business.
past business.
Yep.
You know, it's something that I say all the time. Like, if you have a friend, right? And maybe we don't talk to them every day, but we don't make friends and then just completely forget about your friend and hope that one day you find your friend again, right? Like, you keep in touch with your friends, even if it's, you know, not maybe every day, but every so often, because you genuinely care. I want to know, how do you like your new neighborhood? What's going on there? You know, how do you like your house? How's your family? You know, it's just the follow-up is so important because, again, back to the beginning of this conversation, real estate is everywhere. So if you're that person's friend and you know and you care about them, our customers are our biggest advertisement and advocates. I mean, when I listen to my customers, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I just carry you with me all day, so you can pop up and make me feel good.
Yes. That it's and again, it's because we're authentic. We love what we do, and we build relationships. That's the goal. You know, and another thing, agents do when you start, be able to, like Cristina said, you have to be willing to spend to make, and you have to, time management is huge. If many don't know, transaction coordinator, that's one of the biggest things that would help you starting off your business. You know, maybe if you want to talk about that a little bit, James, transaction coordinators, it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to be in the front line getting customers.
Leverage.
Y'all are all over it right there. Like, I'm a big fan of, there are 1,000 companies that will take that transaction off your plate for like $300, and they'll get paid out of the closing. And if it doesn't close, you don't owe them. Right? That's, I mean, I don't know, like, let's say average 15 hours, maybe, like, maybe it's 20 hours on a transaction. That's 15 to $20 an hour that your time meeting with clients, finding new business, servicing the business leading up to that point is much better use of your time. But there's a second part to that I think is huge. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, when I'm in an appointment and I'm one-on-one with you, my phone's my phone's usually on silent, right? And even if it's not on silent, I'm just trying to stay aware of who's calling for that meeting. I'm not going to answer the phone. So if I have 4 meetings in a row, that's 5 to 6 hours where my client who's under contract and having a panic attack about the inspection that came in is not responded to. So now your level of service has decreased because of 2 thoughts. One, I feel like they're trying to save money. You're not. You're costing yourself money by servicing a transaction. 2, they're trying not to create a disconnect between them and their client. But you are, because that same exact transaction coordinator can say, hey, look, I'm not able to review this, but let me take a look at James's calendar and I'll figure out what time he's going to be available. I know he's in appointments right now. That's what everybody wants to know.
That's it.
Just want to know, just a response. I completely agree.
That's it.
I mean, my first hire, and maybe I did things a little untraditional, but my first hire was a TC, and then my second hire was our admin.
Yep.
So, you know, and now we're working on getting an ISA, you know, so just leveraging our time and, you know, learning what we're best at. And another thing, I mean, building a team. I mean, so many people want to, you can only eat but so much, right? There's only so many hours in the day. And I used to say I will never get burned out because I'm a very busy person as far as like I don't like to stay still. I like to do things. So I remember the very beginning of my career, I had agents tell me, you're going to burn out. You're going to burn out. And I used to be like, I'll be good. And in my head, I'm like, I don't burn out, like this is nothing. Do you know what I've had to deal with in my life? So, but you know what? You do. You get to the point where you can't shut it down and you feel like you can't take a vacation and you can't do this and you can't do that. So you do need more, people, more bodies to help you service these customers. You just have to make sure that you're bringing people around you that are like-minded, that are not going to damage your reputation that you work hard for.
Yep.
So, so it's important to have that. I love the dynamic on our team and our culture. We are a family. Yes, most of us are literally family, but even the ones that aren't, we are a family, and families are honest with each other. They love each other. They're there for each other. They don't hate on each other, so and that's kind of the culture that we've created, is just to be friends and to care for each other and genuinely want the best for other people. And building a team gave us the ability to continue to scale and grow our business and then have somewhat of a life, because it's important. I mean, I look forward to my vacation. It's like the one thing I love. And, and yeah, we're still there. I think I have a picture of Chelo on a camel reviewing a contract for a teammate, but
but
he got the contract done.
We got the contract. We got to accept it. But that's another thing, that in real estate, yes, you may go on vacation. Even our customers tell us, why are you on picking up the phone? Because we work for you. We want to make sure that I'm answering the phone for you. Then when we speak to them, wherever we're at, they say, call us when you get done. But they love it because it doesn't matter where we're at.
And then having a team that they can trust. They're like, we'll call your teammate, we'll call the TC, we'll call your admin, enjoy when you have our customers telling us, can you go enjoy your vacation?
So it's a beautiful thing. But, for new agents and that are coming on, in order to make it, you have to pick up the phone, because if you don't, someone else is going to. You know what I mean? Those are. So, and what we say is we just change the scenery, but we're still working, so, and about that.
I do. It's, what, like the thing is, I feel like agents, you hit the nail on the head. It's really about leverage, right? Like if you can create leverage in your business, that gives you more freedom to be able to take vacations. I don't want to, like, in the 0 to 100, not going to be many vacations, right? Like to get through that.
It takes a time to get there. You gotta grind.
You gotta.
I'll be transparent. Some people ask. I can literally tell you, in the beginning, it wasn't 40-hour work weeks. No. It was maybe 80-hour work weeks. Sometimes 100-hour work weeks. It took time and lessons. So many lessons. Where you're like, man, I spent so much time doing that. I could have just had somebody else do that. Or I spent, doing this, or even like being down on myself. I remember my first listing, 5 cancellations. 5 cancellations. And I cried. I used to cry. I used to go home and the customers would be like, it's okay. We know. And I'm like, I'm so
sorry. Well, we started working together, and offers would not go through. Something would happen. She would just take it to heart. And I'm like, it's okay. I would say it wasn't meant to be. The right one, or whatever situation it'll be. And she would just take it to heart. But I think that's what helped us grow to who we are today. Those trials and errors and learning and figuring things out and
asking questions.
Yes,
and realizing that there's an expert in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes I talk to agents and I'm like, well, have you talked to the lender? Because they'll be like, man, I'm going through this and that. And I'm like, have you talked to the lender? Oh, no, I've never talked to the lender. Well, why? I'm like, the lender is the expert in that. Get on the phone with the lender. I mean, our lender partners are
amazing.
Are some of the people that I have learned from
The most,
so much
when it comes to finance.
But I'm like that kid in the front row asking you a million questions. So if something's wrong with the file and it needed to go to underwriting and there's this condition, why? And why that? And why that? I'm like, why is the sky blue? But who made the sky blue? And why is there a corner? And why is the sun there? But
well, so like your segue into that was that you treat all of your customers like your friend, right? So because you treat them, because you love, like you genuinely love the person, right? You can't let them end up in a place where they're in harm. So every time that you could possibly educate yourself, you educate yourself, right? Because it makes you better equipped to be the best type of friend that you can to the people that are working with you.
Yep.
I love that. I love that.
You know, another thing that we do here at Florida's A Team and all our agents do, buyer's presentations. Buyer's presentations. If whatever brokerage you join or whatever the case, wherever you're at, learn how to do a buyer's presentation. The reason for is that is your first time to build your rapport. They're gonna know. You're going to know what to expect from them. They're going to know what to expect from you. You're going to go from credit all the way to closing. You're going to hit all the dotted lines. You're going to go for FHA, conventional cash, 3.5.
Everything you're learning from your partners, you're sharing with them.
Yeah, and when you sit in front of them and you give them this buyer's presentation, they're just blown away because they didn't know half of that. They just know they want to purchase, but they don't have the education and the knowledge to move forward. So when you sit in front of them and you give them that presentation, that's all that matters, because now you educate them. They can make better decisions now, even if they're not ready to buy at that moment. Okay, I can't buy at this moment, but I will be able to buy in 6 months. So what do? We create a plan or whatever the situation may be. But that's one of my tools to give out to everyone. It's a huge tool to do buyer's presentations and educate your customer
and follow up. I mean, sometimes the customer you got to understand doesn't have to be an instant thing, right? So unless you're looking to be a realtor for 30 days, or 60 days, then you're not thinking about your future. We have people that are buying now or selling now that we spoke to a year ago, 2 years ago, that weren't in the position because we had to create that plan, kind of like you create a business plan when you get into real estate. You got to create that buyer's plan. Where are you on this map? We just talked about all these things, right? When I educated you, I want to make sure that you're not out there. One of the things that I tell them, if you go to the store and they tell you if you got to apply for this credit card, that the whole purchase is free, you're going to tell them, no, I'm trying to buy a house. Don't touch your credit. Don't make large deposits. All these things you learn because literally we learned them because it happened in the beginning.
My errors,
I've had people that day before closing deposited $10,000 cash, didn't know where it came from. Go buy a car. Let me go buy an appliance. And that was a brand new agent. Didn't know that if they did those things. So as I'm educating myself and as I'm learning through trials, passing that information on. And during that presentation, you're telling them that what you're doing is you're saving their time and money, and you're saving yours as well. And you're being a friend to this person and really genuinely giving them all the tools so that they can accomplish their goal, whether it's now or maybe perhaps it's next year. I mean, we've had it be as much as 2.5 years later.
Yeah. And another thing is, with customers, doesn't matter where they're at. We've had customers with credit scores in the 400s. So what do? No, don't get down on yourself. Let's sit down. Let's do a buyer's presentation. Let's see how we can create a plan for you. And we've done it over and over. We've had customers working on their credit, saving, so on for 2 years. They're in homes now. Mm-hmm. But we feel that
meet me halfway.
Yeah, you meet me halfway.
And we'll walk together to the closing
We'll get there. But everyone, James, everyone in this world, you, me, everyone's important. Everyone should have the ability to be able to do what they want to do. Some people don't believe, some people don't have the knowledge, some people don't know what to do. So we and you and people should educate to help people be successful in whatever it is they choose to do. That's in life.
I want to give like everyone like that is such a huge nugget that y'all just thrown that I want to give everyone like just a quick diagnosis for themselves. If you're working with clients that you're going in and you're seeing a house on day 2 on market that's 300,000 and they're telling you to write an offer for 290, if you're you know, going through the inspection period and they want the owner to paint the kitchen wall because there's a couple of marks in the kitchen wall, like if you're seeing these type of problems where someone you want to advise them but you know they're going to blow up if you give them some advice about their position, this I'm 100% you are not doing this thing that we're talking about right here. If you do a buyer presentation, it eliminates all of these problems, every single one.
And that's why we believe it's very important. Very important. And again, it builds the rapport between
the customer
and and starts building relationship.
100%. And the video is a little bit losing there, but we can hear you clearly. I want to make sure that you know that.
Okay.
I wanted to pop a quick joke at Christina. Are you able to see that timer up there?
Oh, when I was worried about.
Oh yeah, you were.
How long do we have to talk for? Like, what am I going to say?
10 to 20 minutes.
I knew we were gonna go. I knew that once we got going, we were gonna go.
Nah, but it's.
Can you see us?
Yes. It's a little bit shaking up a little bit.
That's weird. Okay, you're super clear.
You're super clear. You look handsome.
Probably clear up. You see my little Yoda over here?
Yeah, I see it over there.
I can pick his nose. I'm mirrored. There we go.
No, but James, this is awesome what you're doing, man. I just want to say I'm grateful to you, brother.
Hey, you guys are a blessing to have met you. The thing that I love most is just creating impact for people, and I know that we share that passion. And you know, it's stuff like this. It's real simple. We hop together. We use leverage of time and the fact that we're going to be on here for an hour. This is something that people can watch forever. They'll be able to come back and watch this, and you guys have dropped so much value.
Thank you for allowing us the opportunity, man. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, and to be part of your platform. Thank you.
Hey, it's fun, man. I appreciate you guys being here. And before I'm going to give everyone maybe a minute or two if they have any questions for you guys. It looks like it's pretty well dwindled down, but man, y'all crushed it. And there was, did you see some of the stuff that was said here in the comments?
No, we can't see anything on our end.
Can you see it if I do this?
It's just because we have it on the phone, so it's like super tiny.
Let me see.
Here, I'm gonna read this to y'all because y'all are so humble. You need to hear this stuff. Karina said, "Touching story." Ross, power couple, love to see it. Let's drop down here. Maria Van, I don't want to say her name. Van Galder, you're a powerful woman, Christina.
Oh.
She also said, "You're an amazing person for recognizing your wife the way that you do, Chelo."
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Ross Hardy is. We talked about him the other day at our house, James.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Ross Hardy in a great. He knows it in a great way. He's amazing.
He's just like us, right? Like we're.
Yeah, and he loves cohons like us.
He does. Hey, you want to know? So, like, we are literally kids in a sandbox. You know that, right? Like, we're kids in the sandbox. We're playing with different toys, but like, we want to see what they can do and how they interact. Like, we might as well play together. It's all the same.
Yep.
Let's see here. I love these two power couples, always leading with their heart. Power couple. Like, I just wanted y'all to see that because you deserve it and you should know it. Like, you guys are an inspiration to me and everybody around you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome, you guys. Well, it looks like, let me just make sure nobody asked any questions. I appreciate you guys being here. Y'all have crushed it on here. I'm going to end this here, but just stay in here for just 1 second.
Okay.
Guys.
Boom, baby.
Yeah. Let's go.